guys, what up, YouTube? Welcome to the YouTube video. We're going to be reacting to Tris10's video when the director uses real bullets, reacting to Joe Bartolozzi's reaction of the war movie that used real bullets. Alright, so try to do it.
Hey guys, we're watching The War That Used Real Bullets by Joe Bart. You know, this is channel.
This guy's pretty
is comment
cool.
section. Let's check it out.
I like how he sounds. Skip a subscription.
When the director uses real bullets.
This is Alexei Kravchenko. He's 14 years old, and he's also not an actor. This is...
Dude.
Okay. 4K, we good?
Dude, he looks terrified.
Yeah, he does.
They must be using, like, I'm not trying to, like...
I gotta move my camera, hold on. Hold on, let me move my camera to, like, the bottom corners to keep the theme going. Keep the corners going, you know. Gotta keep it straight. Why is this like bigger? What? Didn't say anything there. Okay, we should be good.
You can tell they're using real bullets in this movie. Look how scared he is.
He's just terrified.
his first time on a
That
film
guy is
set,
just
and this
petrified.
is not CGI. These are real bullets that are flying above
just
his
so
head.
interesting.
And these are real explosions that they're running from. And this is not a film set.
How the f did they get permission to make this?
No,
movie?
literally. What country was this film made in? Because that is not getting passed through, like, any sort of
Yeah,
law.
how did
real
they just get to shoot bullets over the guy's
in the
head?
first place. What? Are they all like stunt doubles? Are they just getting stunt doubles to like run around in these crazy scenarios? What's going
Got
on?
this kid to agree to this? What are they doing? One
I actually
take?
kinda like
Hey,
this
make
guy.
Sure you actually don't
That's
stand
gonna
up,
be a
by the
shit
way.
meme
You
video. This guy's
actually
pretty
will
chill.
die.
Where's Bart?
Literally, one wrong move and the whole movie needs to get like. You need what? You need to cast someone new? Oh, sorry, yo. Yeah, we lost Joe this week. His leg's been blown.
This guy actually makes good ass videos. What the fuck?
His name is Floria, and he's just dug up a weapon from a dead soldier. Little does he know, he's about to witness some of the most horrific things ever done to humanity.
Oh my god, I thought he was gonna like accidentally shoot his friend. Holy
Dude.
That's so fucked up.
Joe, you're so crazy.
Just holding the gun so casually.
Unto humanity. We follow him as he
Ooh,
goes from
I got a
extremely
wicked
eager
cut
to
on my
join the
heel.
war
It's actually
to being
not bad.
harshly
It's like
affected by it, and
surface
finally
scratch.
having the strong will
It's
to end
it's
it.
like burnt.
The film then builds to a systematic massacre of an entire village. Civilians are
And then you throw a Molotov right into the motherfuckers.
Dude, run me through the movie. Run me through the movie. Don't just like explain the entire plot.
Yeah.
Maybe, whatever. He knows what he's doing. It's his video. Hey, it's his video. It's his video.
herded into a barn based off of actual accounts. The doors are barred, and the building is
so
set on
lucky.
fire. And quite famously, the
Holy shit, that's a cool shot.
film includes these direct shots into the actor's face, where there's no escape from their misery.
How
But
old is
Come
this
and
guy?
See is not like other war films.
He's like one of those guys who looks really young, really old at the same time. I can't figure out if he's like 12 or if
Yeah,
he's like
he's
30.
like
'Cause he's got like face
Let me
wrinkles.
show you what he looks like. Hold up. He looks like that.
Alright, I came through the back side. I'm gonna go up here. I think that's the house right here on the other side.
Who plays what the? Hold on, that one guy. He looks like that. He looks like Ralph Macchio. Yeah, this guy. Hold on. He looks like this guy. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't he like old as hell? Yeah, he's 64, but he looks super young. Yeah. Yeah, you guys know who I'm talking about.
And stuff.
films. We don't
They're all
follow
movies.
a superheroic soldier or see any of the famous battles. Instead,
You're following a regular ass kid that lived through that time.
the film takes place
Thanks, Joe. That's what you just said.
within villages and
Great
families
take.
and children. And the film does not revolve around heroics, but the idea of human suffering and what war does
Holy
to innocent
shit.
people. It
Not
is
enough
equally-
You see his
Joe
lips?
pausing.
This is one of those films like
There's not enough Joe pausing and just rambling about some bullshit. I don't know. Gotta give this a 3 stars in Rotten Tomatoes.
it's depressing.
So far.
It's like this is not a film you watch with your girlfriend. This is a film you just like. You've had a long
Watch at
shift at
4 in the
work.
morning.
You're thinking about life, and it's like 2 a.m. You've had a night shift, and you just put the shit on, and you just lock it in and watch it. Like you don't even eat while you watch this film. It takes all your attention to watch this, and afterwards you feel like shit, but you kind of like gives you like an appreciation for life. I think it's
horrifying
gotta
every
be.
single time you see it. Yet at the same time, it's such a cinematic masterpiece.
That is a
Everything in this
great
movie
take.
brings you to
Great
full
take.
immersion in a way that modern cinema hasn't been able to quite replicate. And the story of how they made
Yeah. Hold on, is the actual video audio this shitty too? No offense to Tris.
It's horrible that humans.
Yeah, no, like, yeah.
His name is Floria, and he's just dug up a weapon from a dead soldier. Herd it into a barn based off of action is not like other war superhero
Regular.
Thanks, Joe. That's what you just said. This and you just lock it in and watch it.
masterpiece. Everything in this movie brings you to full immersion in a way that modern cinema hasn't been able to quite replicate. And the story of how they made the film is just as interesting, if not more interesting, as the film itself. Chapter 2.
It's weird that it's a horror war film. I feel like this movie would make you cry.
I feel like that's probably the point.
And I love a movie that can do that.
Dude,
I think
a good movie to cry over is nice, but like, I don't know, not this movie.
you're watching a film and you know they're trying to make you upset, like they're trying to
That's
pull
a
you
great
your
take.
heartstrings, and they're just not getting you. So when a film actually does get me, I appreciate it so much. And normally when films get me in that way, it's because they make you think. Films, like if someone dies and it's sad, that's one thing. But if the film
Yeah,
makes you
trying
think,
towards sucks.
and then you get sad from thinking, then you know you're watching a good film.
those are not the best films, because like in my top 5 movies, none of them would be sad films. But I think
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite surprising. I'd like to hear Joe's top 5. He probably said it before.
a movie that can make you cry is probably the best film. That one of the best films you'll see. If like mid-film you're like actually bawling, like they genuinely
No.
moved you.
I don't
Because
like those.
for you to cry in a film, you have to actually believe the reality of it. And
That's
yes,
what-
this is based off.
Yeah.
That's true, but I don't actually totally agree with Joe here. I think that a film can make you think about real life. You don't need to like totally be invested in the film, but if
I
there's
don't
like
want to hear you
emotionally
talking.
like
I just want to see the video.
isn't it just
Alright, yeah. That's what I.
and you're rooting for what did I say? I like The Dark Knight. I'll put a superhero movie in there.
Oh.
Hated when freak
I wanna watch the
Whatever
video.
betting they had.
Sorry.
I think you can tell this is like a passion project.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's lived through this. So he wants to
Motherfucker, what?
make it real. He wants to show people what
Miles?
it looks
5645. What was it? Miles 5645.
Kill him, kill him. Boom! That's how
Miles.
Incredibles! That's what I like to see.
Miles 5645. deleted his Switch channel.
Like what it's like. He wants to show people what he went through, what other people went through,
Yeah,
and he wants people to know
I
that like
understand that.
people go through this. So
For
this is
sure.
definitely a film. I haven't watched it, but I'm assuming a lot of it is just he wants awareness out there. He wants people to know this is what's going on in wars. The other movies you're seeing, they're not shit. This is a war. A war isn't the soldiers going out to battle, the brave soldiers. There's people back home and they are terrified and they're also living through it. It's not just the soldiers. I think from I haven't watched the movie, but that's the expression I'm getting out of it.
And then
From this
it
video.
would lie on top.
Ooh, did this guy make a video reacting to him? I might need to react to him. Never mind.
His name is Floria, and he's just dug up a weapon from a dead soldier. Little does he know, he's about to witness some of the most horrific things ever done to humanity.
Oh
We
my
follow-
god, I thought he was
Is
gonna
he
like
gonna-
accidentally shoot his friend.
Is he gonna grief? Oh. Of course.
The other movies you're seeing, out to battle, the brave soldiers. There's people back home and they are terrified and they're also living through it. It's not just the soldiers. I think from I haven't watched the movie, but
I'm
that's the expression I'm getting out of it.
And then
From this
it
video.
would lie on top. As a young boy, I had
Where do you
been
think
in
you're
hell.
going, buddy?
This experience through hell would live with Klimov forever. Yet despite these beginnings, he eventually found his way into film. He started his career with comedies and
Would he shove you in a locker or save you from a locker? Hmm. I feel like he's a nice guy. He's probably a good guy. I feel like he'd save you from a locker.
satires. Nearly every film that he's made has faced some form of interference, delays, or even bans from the Soviet authorities. Yet despite the censorships, he would
realistic
go
or
on to
so?
make these types of films, until 1979 when something terrible happened. His wife, Larissa Shepitko, also an acclaimed filmmaker, had died in a car accident. And to say that her death had devastated
for that guy.
Klimov is a gross understatement. Shortly after her death, he fell into a deep depression, turned to alcohol, and created a 25-minute documentary honoring her legacy. And even more notably,
Hats off to Kale.
Ad right now, really.
Bobby.
What time in for an ad? That was quite inappropriate. Come on, YouTube. Yeah, but I think
Have you seen like the YouTube ads that would pop up like right here? I have an ad blocker I would show you, but like genuinely, like our school like had to block YouTube because like how bad they were. Like I'm not talking
that
about
probably
like,
just
the
opened
ones
up his
like,
mind so much.
oh,
His wife
take this
died,
gay
just
test.
thinking.
Just find out if you're gay. Like it was crazy. I got some wicked sex.
Restarted thinking about life again, and I
Yeah,
guess
that's
that's why
wild.
it made the movie, right? Let's see what Joe's got to say.
We talked about this previously too. When men lose their wives, they're much worse off statistically than
Yeah.
women losing their husbands.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, who, as a man generally, the only people that truly like interact with you on a deep level are your mom and your wife. Sometimes a friend. But I'm saying like men don't really open up to other men. They don't
Yeah,
really
that's
have
really
deep
true.
conversations with other men. And so it's a lot harder to lose that person.
Statistically, he's right. Statistically, he's right. I think I've got friends on the basis that I could talk to them.
Is that a fucking PS3? Does that... If you're watching this, does it work?
Like that 100%. But statistically, especially back then when it was like a bit shunned upon, that guy was. I mean, his wife died. Like, come on. He was. He probably had no one to talk to really, assuming his mother is also dead.
That
If
is
she-
a
if-
PS...
like-
that's a PS3, right? Hold on. I gotta make sure I'm right if not I'm cutting it out. Forget I said that.
Rest in peace, obviously. But he probably had no one to talk to. But he probably just.
I have a super slum.
Well, I'm hoping. Is it a good thing? Yeah, I guess he's putting that towards his film, maybe.
When you
Yeah,
have
probably
so
motivated
few
him, or
of that,
didn't.
those people.
It probably like motivated him some, and like is really dropping that more though.
Women are not always, and I'm not saying this is applicable to all men and all women, but women generally can fall back on other women a lot easier than men can because you don't have that stronger relationships with men.
Yeah.
Women usually, at least from what I've seen, women tend to have a lot closer bonds than men do. And I'm not saying that men aren't friends or close friends with each other, but a lot of that shit doesn't get real deep, right?
Yeah,
Guys get real deep when they get drunk, right? And you're like, you know, man, I really love you, bro. You're like, you know, you like truly care about me, and I really fuck with that. You don't have that sober.
I think older generations definitely. Maybe. I mean, I'm like same generation as Joe. I'm like 20. Joe's like what, 23, 24? I'm not sure. But I've known most of my friends since like primary school or like early college. But I can tell my friends I love you. I can tell my friends I love you. But I think most men, like you're saying, definitely like men that feel like they need to be a lot more masculine. They will not open up about this stuff.
Yeah.
And if they do, it will be to like their wives or their mum. And a lot of men regret it. They'll do it and they'll regret it. They'll open up and instantly, I think they'll like
They'll
feel
wish
themselves
they
shrivel
wouldn't
up and
have.
they'll just wish they never did it again.
Yeah.
For conversation with another male friend. Usually. You do at times, but most of those things, it's like you're drunk and you're like, I love you. Women will just have those conversations and talk about deep things, right? And guys will do that with their mom. Guys will do that with their wife, right? So it's like, that is horrible. He already lived a terrible life, and now he has to fucking lose his wife on top of that.
Bro,
And
not
what, did that
all.
motivate him to make this film?
He never made another comedy again.
I mean,
That's
do you blame him? Not making another comedy again? Do you blame him?
yeah.
All of his subsequent
Wow.
You're an
That's got to
expert.
be that really hurt him then. Because I feel like people use comedy
As a coping?
a
as a
lot of the
coping device?
time to get out of shitty situations
Yeah.
and perceive shitty things in a better light. Like a lot of the time you use jokes and comedy about fucked up things that happen to you because it makes you feel better about them. Yeah, it's a coping mechanism. Making things funny. That's why, like, not all comedians, but like the people that you would deem as most funny in your life, a lot of the time went through shit because like top tier comedians have to willingly
they have
joke
to
about the
have-
stuff they went through.
Yeah, they have to have that life experience to be talking or just rambling on about some bullshit.
were repeatedly blocking his project, but he refused to
Great thank you.
compromise, and he knew the film was too important, that if he were to make it, it had to be done right. Finally, in 1985, something incredible.
But he's lost everything at this point, so
He really
he
has.
obviously feels like he needs to put something out that is just so purely authentic to the actual situations like
He needs an accomplishment,
he lived through. He doesn't want to like shun upon it. He doesn't want to
like a new one.
sugarcoat it. He wants to show people what it's like.
Happened.
Yeah.
He's got nothing else. We don't know everything about him, but his wife's gone. You know, he's clearly depressed. I bet he probably tunnel visioned so hard. In this film, probably got into the craziest flow state. I know it sounds messed up, but he probably did get into the craziest flow state when he started making this film.
What's happening here?
This is Hatin. It is a bone-chilling recount of the Hatin massacre, a massacre in which the Nazis locked an entire village into a barn and then set the barn on fire, with half of the inhabitants being children. The occupation of Belarus was one of the most brutal campaigns of World War II. Over 600 villages met the same fate. The book was formed from a collection of testimonies from those who somehow survived. This is the writer, Ales Adamovich. In June 1941, when the war came to Belarus, he was just 13 years old. After the war, Adamovich became a writer. Him and his co-authors would travel across Belarus, collecting real survivor testimonies. He ended up co-writing the novel Hatin, which would become one of the primary sources for Come and See. Several directors were pitched to adapt his stories, but Adamovich refused them all. He insisted that there was only one director who could do the material justice. Together, they would create something that didn't glorify war or turn it into an adventure story, but showed as it truly was. But even with Adamovich and
That's what I'm saying. He just wanted to show the side of war that isn't spoken about today. Because back then, everyone knew what it was like. Like most people knew it was like, but like our generation now, you think of war, you think of soldiers going out. You don't think of the people staying home. You don't think of the people eating the rations. You don't think of the people who had to cope with the people that are away. You don't think about the wives that stay at home. You don't think about the kids that stay home. You think about the soldiers going out there. When that isn't even half of the story, there's so many people who are at home, terrified, not really even know what's going on, not even knowing if the loved ones are coming back. And I think it's really good that even if he's not fully showing that, even when he shows the war, he'll be showing it from a more realistic aspect. He's showing the fear in people's eyes. He's not showing like he's not trying to like glorify at all. Basically, what this guy has just said. He's not trying to make it seem like.
Bro, I'm so tired. It's like 4 in the morning.
This guy went off and he shot some guy in the head. He shot a Nazi in the head. Oh, he's a hero. He is trying to show it just as these are people.
I feel like he owned some people.
These are real people and these are real things that they've lived through.
Yeah,
Imam's clear vision.
that like sucks. Probably like the bottom 60 experiences right there. Do you believe Jackson loves you?
The film remained censored for years until 1985, when the 40th anniversary of Victory Day finally gave them the opening they needed. They had the green light, but they still needed one more piece: the boy. Alexei Kravchenko was not an actor. In fact, he didn't care about the film world at all. He had only showed up to the audition to support his friend, who wanted the lead role. Kravchenko went along for moral support, nothing more. And it turns out he ended up being chosen. To prepare Kravchenko for the role, Klimov...
But why did they pick this kid that had no interest in acting to play a very gritty, sad role?
Probably because he'd be authentic. He doesn't have like the I'm gonna guess because he doesn't have the acting methods, so he won't be able to over-exaggerate.
That's actually smart as shit.
He won't be able to like mess up the acting because they're chucking him in and it's gonna feel so real to him that they're just gonna get his authentic reaction. Plus, he has a kind of scared looking face. Let's be real. Like he looks freaking terrified.
In basically an adaptation of an actual historical event.
Put him on a strict hunger diet. For days at a time, the 14-year-old would only drink water and run long...
They made him starve himself, oh my god, to make it look like he was like in in a famine.
That's like Wisdom Wars
just
level
fully,
shit.
That's fucked.
Like thinning himself.
Like messing
distances to lose weight. Klimov was also deeply concerned about the potential psychological toll the film would take.
Oh my god. Well, because they were making him like method act almost too.
Basically.
Like not even just lose the weight to fit the, I guess, physical sense of the role, but also like make him feel and look exhausted constantly.
The lead. To protect Kravchenko, Klimov brought in a psychotherapist trained in hypnosis. The plan was to hypnotize Kravchenko during the most violent scenes so they wouldn't traumatize them.
God.
But after testing, they discovered that Kravchenko was not susceptible to hypnosis. Kravchenko would later describe the shoot as the happy recollections of my childhood. After the film wrapped, Kravchenko did not act again for another 13 years.
I wouldn't either. That's respectable.
Making hell on earth. From the very start, Klimov had one guiding principle: tell the truth. Klimov's goal was to capture as much realism as possible. Each member of the cast and crew felt a huge responsibility to those who had died. As Klimov said, "I have the will to tell the story for truth, even if it takes 9 months to make the movie, and even if..."
10 years, by the way. 10 years it took.
Well, that's what sucks about a lot of American like war films is we like broadcast ourselves as the heroes and the victims a lot of the time when we're the ones that are like actively just fucking killing innocent people. Like, not in
That's
every
fucked,
instance. I'm not saying like World War II
not all the
films, but
time.
like every Vietnam film is like, not everyone, but a lot of Vietnam War films, it's like, oh, dude, they make you feel for the Americans. When it's like, yeah, we are
did the bad
Americans,
thing,
obviously. You're going to have some sort of feeling for them, but it's like, they're not, they kind of like overshadow the fact that like we were just like effectively murdering innocent Vietnamese people in like regular ass situation. Not even like, not even just like, hey, we're sending you to war because you have to fight these people. They would just like kill innocent fucking families in Vietnam.
If no one watches it.
I don't know a lot about Vietnam, to be honest. That's really interesting. As someone who only really sees it through the media, I have not learned about the Vietnam War. I don't really know much about it. I sort of assumed, well, obviously nothing's black and white, but yeah, I would say I'd be more likely to take the American side because of the media that I've consumed and the films that I've seen. So it's a very interesting point.
Production.
I didn't.
Yeah, that really is.
I didn't know, like,
that's observation there.
Obviously, I knew messed up stuff was happening, but I didn't like, didn't like gauge it that much. I never really acknowledged it. But I guess that's just like my education. I guess there's a lack of education on the subject.
Designer Viktor Petrov initially tried using pyrotechnics for the explosions, but when Klimov saw the results, he wasn't satisfied. The explosions didn't sound real, they didn't feel real. So Klimov made the ultimate decision that would shock everyone: to use real explosives and live ammunition. This created an atmosphere of real terror among the actors. In one scene, Kravchenko
Real terror among the actors, bro, but they could have died.
and a cow were placed in the middle of a field while live rounds were fired around them. Kravchenko was so terrified that he found himself—
Cow would not fly today, by the way. Live cow, and for good reasons. You gotta go. Good stream as usual. Thanks for sticking around. I'm ending after this video anyway, don't worry. It's the last thing in the stream. See you next Wednesday if you're here. Probably be streaming again.
clinging to Klimov after, asking, "Is there anything else?" Klimov told him to go back into the scene. The entirety of the film was shot on location in Belarus. Everything was real. Even the extras, the villagers, were real survivors or descendants of survivors from the Belarusian fire villages.
That's awesome.
God, I didn't even get in contact with that many.
That's my bad. My bad. That's
Like
great.
survivors though.
To prepare the villagers, Ales Adamovich gathered them in a circle and read chapters from his book. He recounted the testimonies of those who had survived the horrors of war. Many of the villagers had heard stories from their parents or grandparents. Some had survived the war as children. The entire crew was under constant stress. But as the production designer later said, all the hardships helped us. Everyone was under constant strain, and it had a powerful effect on the crew.
Oh yeah, those are good.
God himself was helpful to us. For the fog not lifting,
Dude, it fucking blows, man. Ugh. Oh, this is making me sad. This is making me sad. Stop.
for the special effects to work, for the crowd scenes with the locals and army personnel to work in harmony. Chapter 4. True.
It's horrible.
I'm gonna have to end it here, guys. I do gotta go. That was a good video though. What do you think of revisit the
15
Minecraft
minutes.
world? Next week? I don't know.
Great video, Tris. 1502.
It's horrible that humans are like the biggest threat to ourselves. Like, obviously, we're all gonna die one day, but like all of the horrible things that happen to humans. Yes, there's natural disasters. Yes, there's disease.
Was it?
But like,
His name is Floria, and he's just fog not lifting.
dude, it fucking blows.
In harmony.
Gotta go. I do gotta go. That was good.
Okay, that's 1502.
It's horrible that humans are like the biggest threat to ourselves. Like, obviously, we're all gonna die one day, but like all of the horrible things that happen to humans. Yes, there's natural disasters. Yes, there's disease. But like most things that you cite historically, it's like, yeah, other humans effectively murdering, torturing, and committing genocide against other people.
And yet, despite all this gore and destruction that this movie depicts, it's surprisingly beautiful.
This is wicked. Now it's been good times.
Oh my god, did they actually fucking kill a cow for the fucking movie? God, I always wonder how like they showcase like utter shock so well.
Yeah.
This is Roger Deakins, widely considered to be the greatest cinematographer.
I never understand how movie actors do that.
Oh my god.
Like fully get into the brain and mindset of somebody living that instance.
Of all time, and he's labeled "Come and See" as mandatory viewing.
Conrad Orr used to say he was really trying to.
Alright, bro, I'm gonna end it there. God first, God bless. Have a good day. Tris10's, if you're watching this.
His name is Florio.
Have a good day, Joe Bartolozzi. I'll see y'all boys later. God first, God bless. See y'all later. Reach out, bro, if you don't. Alright, let go.